Enjoy the bittersweet evening, Jets fans. Gang Green pulls out a thrilling overtime victory on a punt return for touchdown from Xavier Gibson. But the big story, Aaron Rodgers out for nobody knows how long. I'm Glenn Naughton with Jet Nation Radio and JetNation.com. Be sure to log into JetNation.com where you can register and become a part of what is the most active Jets message board on the web. As you probably saw 50 million people tweet within moments of it happening, we can't have nothing nice. If you didn't laugh, you'd cry. Use whatever cliche you want. But another situation, I spoke with someone the other day. I actually was talking about, all the positive vibes, all the good feelings, which is a foreign concept to the Jets and Jets fans. And I said to this person, we're riding high right now. We're feeling really good. Season hasn't started. What if this all just falls apart and blows up? Didn't even give a reason. Just whether it was injuries, poor play. Like, what if this doesn't work out? And this person, very wisely, and I can't blame them, just said, "Dude, we're not even talking about that. Don't put that out there." And I said, "I know, I get it. None of us want it to happen, but we traded for Brett Favre, 8-3 Super Bowl favorites, gonna go win it. Hasn't missed a game in 27,000 years. Tears a bicep. Like, really? Go AFC Championship game. People picking you go to the Super Bowl. Look at this. Vinny Testaverde, Curtis Martin, Bill Parcells, Bill Belichick. Everything is right. The Jets almost went to the Super Bowl. This is the year they do it. Ruptured Achilles. Opening day. Vinny Testaverde. Folks, it's not like we haven't been here before. Okay? I've mentioned a couple times on the show recently how my 10-year-old is really taken to watching the games with me. And once Aaron Rodgers left on the cart, I just looked at him and I said, "You're official, buddy. You're a Jets fan. This is what it is." So look, now we wait. We don't know. X-rays were negative. Could be weeks. Could be months. Could be the season. Could be, who knows? We don't know. Dr. David Cho, NFL doc, who was the head trainer, doctor for the San Diego Chargers. Listen, some people like him. Some people don't. Sometimes he's right. Sometimes he's wrong. In my experience, he's right about 90% of the time. And he said that there should be some concern about Rodgers being out for the season. So we will wait on that. There's nothing you can do about it at this point. But without Aaron Rodgers, you managed to pull out a win. Josh Allen. There's no denying the kid has a howitzer. He's got one of the strongest arms you'll ever see in your life. He has far exceeded the expectations of the critics who said he would not be any good. However, does he not make more mistakes than any other supposed elite quarterback that you've ever seen? Franchise guy, elite guy. And he'll make a handful of plays that wow you, that drive you crazy, that drive defenses nuts, that feel like there's nothing we can do to defend this guy. We did everything right and he found a way around it or through it or over it. But then, fumble, interception. He threw 3 picks, all to Jordan Whitehead, who, he's got to be a lock for Defensive Player of the Week, right? 3 picks for Whitehead. C.J. Mosley dropped what should have been the easiest one. A gimme, right over the middle, right through C.J. Mosley's hands. Got stuffed on a run up the middle. The ball got ripped out. Refs called forward progress, gave it back to him. No fumble. Could have been a fumble. I'm not saying it should have been. I'm saying it could have gone either way. If the refs had waited a split second longer to blow the play dead, it's a fumble. And then he gets hit later in the game by Michael Clemens. Fumble. So he lost the fumble. He turned it over 3 times. And this is what the guy does. Made some phenomenal throws. But I'm not sure there's a big-time quarterback who makes more mistakes than that guy does. Allen finishes the day 29-41 for 236, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions. Zach Wilson comes on in relief of Aaron Rodgers, and one thing that may have stuck out to me more than anything was Zach wasn't good. Let's get that out of the way right away. 1 or 2 decent plays. But Coaching staff, zero faith in him. I mean, none. Everything he threw was within 8 yards of the line of scrimmage, which was, I guess, in that regard, that's good, right? Because he was completing the short, easy stuff that in years past had a really hard time with. So that is a positive development. But you can't just throw the easy stuff. It can't be screen, screen, swing, screen, swing, screen. You've got to open things up, stretch the defense a little bit, make them play honest. So the Jets' lack of trust in Zach, and listen, maybe it's Robert Saleh saying to Hackett, listen, our defense is lights out. Just don't let this kid lose it for us. Nothing crazy. No big shots down the field. Ball control, right? Let's kick a couple field goals, find our way into the end zone at some point. Maybe we win this thing. And it worked. But listen, despite the progress, as I said, the hitting the easy stuff, which in the past has not been easy for him, you got to see more. And especially if he's the guy. He might be the guy. I would imagine Zach Wilson's your quarterback for at least the next few weeks. At least. And if it's going to be the season, maybe you see a trade. I don't want to get into that too much right now. Who's out there? Who's available at this point? Whose backup quarterback do you love? Do you feel good about? Nick Foles, you going to go sign him? I think he's a free agent somewhere. Carson Wentz, who are you going to go get? But what we saw today from this Jets defense, and let's tip our caps to the Jets and this defense. Here's what they did today. Surrendered just 16 points to the Buffalo Bills. As I said, 3 interceptions off of Josh Allen. Held James Cook to 3.8 yards a carry. Stephon Diggs, no big plays. He had the touchdown, which was big in terms of, putting points on the board. But lot of short stuff. A lot of 7, 8, 9, 10-yard quick hitters. Didn't look for him to open things up to beat anybody deep like they did last year when he had the one big catch last year and then didn't do much after that. So maybe Buffalo taking a different approach. Of course, Sauce and Reed, whoever's covering him, he's Stephon Diggs. You're going to give him a little cushion. And Buffalo just taking advantage of that and hitting him with quick, short passes. He ends up right around 10 yards a catch. Yeah, 10 catches for 102. His long was 18. So little stuff, but it was effective. It moved the ball. Again, just Buffalo did only get the one touchdown, but Diggs had an effective day. He was efficient. He wasn't great, but he got the job done. In terms of catching the ball for the Jets, if you missed the game, Garrett Wilson saves the day. The only touchdown of the day for Zach Wilson, and it's a ball that goes from looking like it's going to be intercepted to Zach Wilson, or thrown by Zach Wilson. Garrett Wilson seeing it, does the right thing as a receiver, turns into a DB, gets his hand between the ball and the receiver and bats it away. And then after he bats it away, kind of realizes, you know what? If I turn into a receiver again, this is a catchable ball. And he does just that on his way down to the ground. He pulls it in for a touchdown. Unbelievable play. Couldn't be happier with the way that one played out. And Breece Hall, another stud on offense, 10 carries for 127. Had a long of 83. Listen, that 83-yarder, that's a touchdown in my mind if Garrett Wilson isn't celebrating 35 yards short of the end zone. I understand Breece Hall's a fast guy, but he's not 100% yet. I mean, he's still damn good, but Breece Hall with his speed, if he breaks away on a run like that, he's gone. But defenders were catching up to him. Garrett Wilson started to celebrate. By the time Wilson realizes Hall may not outrun the defender, he turns on the Jets, but he's too late getting there. So Breece Hall gets tackled. It's an 83-yard run that doesn't go for a touchdown. Still a huge run, though. Again, 10 for 127. Dalvin Cook, 13 for 33. No big numbers on the receiving end because, listen, Zach Wilson threw for 140. Averaged 10 yards, 14 completions, 140. So 10 yards per. And let's see. No, sorry, he had 14 completions. I thought he had 10. 14 for 140. So he averaged under 7 yards a completion. Alan Lazard led them with 46 yards. Garrett Wilson led with 5 catches. On defense, this is what I was going to get to. What a day. What a day for these guys. As promised, they lived up to the hype. You heard them say it during the game on the broadcast. Quincy Williams, monster day, 10 tackles, 1 for loss, who had a pass defensed. Jermaine Johnson had himself a sack and 2 tackles for loss. Quinnen Williams had one QB hit. John Franklin Myers, sack and a couple of QB hits. Quentin Jefferson, 2 sacks, 3 QB hits. Jordan Whitehead, as I said earlier, 3 interceptions. There's your defensive player of the week. Bryce Huff and Al Woods had a couple of quarterback hits. In all said and done, for the Jets defense, 5 sacks, 8 tackles for loss, 5 passes defense, 9 QB hits, 3 interceptions, harassed Josh Allen all day long. Xavier Gipson, as I said, the huge return, the 65-yard punt return to close the game out. So, again, great win. Reminding me of the Vinny game and how Tom Tupa came in that game and won it. Was a little bit worried because, listen, there was a chance that if Zach Wilson had gotten hurt, there was no third quarterback. So that's not. I think Chaz Surratt. I've joked about how he could be QB3 or QB4, having played quarterback at University of North Carolina. I don't know what the Jets' plan would have been there, but I'm just before I log off here, before I sign off, I'm trying to find anything here. Let's see. Okay, so I would assume Aaron Rodgers is done for the year. I'm not saying he is. Robert Saleh met with the press, said they are concerned about his Achilles. It is not good. So, listen, go with the worst case and he's done for the year. Maybe he's not, but he probably is. What do you do? You would think there would be some type of an emotional response from me. Anger, throw things. What's going on? I'll tell you what. When Aaron Rodgers, when he sat down on the turf and I saw him with his legs bent and hugging his knees, I just went, there we go. There it is. That was it. No surprises. No surprises. This is what happened. Offensive line wasn't great. Listen, you can say to me, Glenn, you said before the game the Jets were going to win this one 31-17. I did. I did say 31-17. However, in my defense, check my tweets. Look at the Twitter. I said about 6-7 hours before the game, I went on Twitter and I said, you know what? So the more I think about this, I'm worried about the offensive line. Not because there's not good players on the offensive line. Excuse me, but because these guys haven't played. The continuity, Dwayne Brown, he's the one that gave up the sack that we believe looks like it may have ended Rodgers' season. Did he play in the preseason? He's 38, 39. Like, he probably could have benefited by knocking some of the rust off. Mekhi Becton had some good moments and bad moments, which was expected, his first game in 2 years. But I would, the way I worded it was because I'm always, I always joke about how during the week I'm always so negative because this team is usually so bad and they're so negative, and by the time kickoff rolls around, I've convinced myself they can win to get myself excited to watch the game. This week, I'm like, Jets are going to win 31-10, 31-17, Jets in a blowout. And then I think about it more and more, and I'm like, I start talking myself out of it. And that's what I tweeted earlier. I was like, you know what? Looking at the offensive line play around the league yesterday, considering how little this offensive line played together, I think they might have some problems. I don't think this is going to be Aaron Rodgers. And listen, I get that Aaron Rodgers gets rid of the ball quickly. I said that a million times this offseason. But you still, ideally, don't want him getting chased and hit constantly. He dropped back a couple times, got hit a couple times, threw one pass. So that's what the Jets got. The Jets get what, it appears will be. The New York Jets will have traded a second-round pick for one Aaron Rodgers pass attempt. Can't make it up, folks. Can't make it up. Enjoy the win. They got to do something. Hey, Tom Brady's a free agent. I don't know. Look, Nick Foles. Do you beg Tom Brady? Do you beg 86-year-old Phillip Rivers? Somebody. Do you call the Cardinals and say, hey, you guys are tanking. What do you want for Kyler Murray? You can't even do that. He makes $1 trillion a year. They got to do something. They got to do something. I don't know what they're going to do. Enjoy the win because who the hell knows what's next. Maybe if it is Zach and he's installed and it's going to be a long-term thing, you have to eventually open it up, let him throw the football. So, bittersweet, as I said, one of the more exciting wins you'll ever see, but of course it comes at the expense of Aaron Rodgers. And Again, it's not official at this point, but it certainly would appear Rodgers is done. That is a damn shame. And to quote all the tweets earlier, we can't have nothing nice.